Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Kusama or update to Kusama, take a more of an objective look at what's going on with Kusama. But I'd like to start this page with KSM, which is part of the Polkadot ecosystem. So for those that don't know, Kusama is the test net for Polkadot. So the Polkadot ecosystem is really, really big in security. So I think it can be more of a safer play, probably not as much as price appreciation per se, because things happen a little bit slower on the Polkadot network. And Kusama is the test net. But why is this important for Kusama? Is right down here. You see that, guys? Limited supply. So you know what that means? That means you get assets to do something like that and go up 50 to 100,000% in their wave run. That's why that's important. And by the way, if you just landed here, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, be appreciated. So let's take an overall look at Kusama. Now, one thing we know about Kusama is not going to go up unless Ethereum goes up, right? And Ethereum's gone up quite a bit, and Kusama hasn't really gone up that much, okay? So we're going to investigate that. So let's start with Ethereum. I know in my last video, I went over Ethereum, and, you know, the Ethereum and Bitcoin are a big part of this equation, guys, but I'm going to show you something, okay? Over here, in my opinion, this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have a really good shot of a chance of this right here, guys. Okay? You have a good shot of that, in my opinion. Even though the macro environment is, and you're out there in the crypto Twitter and in listening to the news and everything like that, guys, I'm telling you, and I've proved through recent videos that assets can go up even when there's negative sentiment, as of interest rates rising, as an example. It is possible. You cannot rule that out. It would be foolish to rule that out. You could miss huge opportunities possibly. So there's a good shot of that going on. Let me show you something though. I'm going to show you guys something you want to pay attention to. I like to look at fractals and patterns because things don't really repeat, but you know, some people say that they rhyme. But you see that right there? Look at that leg right there. Does that look familiar? It does over here, doesn't it? Look at that. Right there. Now, am I saying that it's going to be the same? Could be. It could be. Check this out. If you take that leg, right? We have a leg over here. Let me go to the daily and I'll show you something. One thing you want to do with these legs. So we have a leg right there. It's Ethereum's wave 1 to start this whole 5-wave sequence. So you take the time. I'm going to take the time where it started at the lowest point and go to the highest point. More or less about 29, 30 days, right? Okay. So if I take the correction, when did it correct? It's going to be about what? 30 days, right? You see that correction took about as long, a little bit longer than that. So let's go over here. What are we going to look for? What are we going to look for Ethereum? Right now, it landed right there. And how long did this one take? The highest point right there is about 40 days. So we can expect a correction to last what? Maybe 40 days, right? Something like that. So all the way into the beginning of September, okay, for a correction on Ethereum, possibly. That's one thing you want to look for. Good news, there's possibly decent news for Ethereum, all right? So you still have to keep your eyes peeled. Make sure this is not a fake out where it's going to go up and then boom, all right? You have to keep your eyes peeled for something like that. So now we have Kusama. So let's take Kusama. That little wave that I showed you on Ethereum, those 2 waves I showed you on Ethereum, let's call this the same thing, even though this went up a lot more, right? And this is over here. So one thing that I check, make sure it all makes sense, is I'm going to check the time that it took for Kusama to do this leg. And where did it end? It ended right there. That's top of 413 days, more or less, okay? So you want to see at least that over here. Make sure that's done with Kusama. You want to see at least that amount of time. And how much time did we get? Look at that right there, about 441 days. Okay? So here's the deal with Kusama. if you're bearish, like people are saying, the bear market is can continue to go on because the Fed's raising interest rates and it's going into quantitative tightening, which, by the way, people aren't so sure about if that's really going on. It seems like it could be still add a little bit to their balance sheet. You never know what could be going on. But at the end of the day, if you are bearish on Kusama, then Kusama is going to go bounce and then do another leg. You have to realize that. That's what they're saying. So this leg took it 430 days. It's going to bounce on a 60-day bounce on an X. And there's going to be another 300 to 400-day leg over here. So now, do you think Kusama's correction is going to go, here's 400 days. Let's add 60 days to that, more or less. So let's go from over here to, it's going to be about 900, 850, 900 days. Right in that area like that, all the way to July of 2023. Do you think that's possible? It is possible. There's no doubt about it. That could happen. That Kusama's coming way down here into a leg where the depth, I'm just giving you as an example, but the time, you have to think of it like that. So, or is this a hyper bullish coin and it's done with this correction? You have a good shot that this possibly could be done with its correction, and Kusama is just going to be entering a wave 3. It would be entering a wave 1 of its wave 3. So then Kusama, just as an example, guys, the wave 3 would be like this. So as an example, Kusama's wave 3 is way out here, okay, like that. It's entering a wave 3. But there will be a wave 1 like this, okay? As an example, go break those all-time highs, and that wave 1 is going to go up there, and it's going to come all the way back down to those areas again, back down where it does, and then it'll go into a 3 of a 3 like that. Okay, guys, that's how you have to understand with the waves that are going on with Kusama. All right, so let's check this out. Did it correct in time good enough? It did. Time qualification is so far so good. Does RSI look good enough? It does. Could it be a little bit deeper? It could, but that's a positive right there compared to over there. There's the beginning of its cycle. Now it's over here. Just with basic TA, guys, what you have is a massive amount of, what is that? On the weekly time frame, that's a massive amount of bullish divergence right there, guys. Okay, so could it be going up to there? It could. It could. So far, so good. So let's take a look at the depth of the correction. You know, the depth from its highest peak. How far did it go down? Let's check it out. Look at that. More or less about 94%. Is that deep enough? It's definitely deep enough. So far, so good. Everything's looking pretty decent for Kusama. Now, the reason I have all these waves over here is these were some targets that I had for Kusama. And in cryptocurrencies, when they make their moves, they like to come back to a fourth wave. So you can see this is a fourth wave right over here. So I was kind of thinking maybe Kusama is going to be hitting these low 20 areas was my first target. But the thing is, too, that you got to look for is you got to look for the other fourth wave. Sometimes you miss that. So that's why I have these counts over here. And if I'm going to go out to the daily, guys, I'm going to go out to the daily. I was like, let me go over here and count this, make sure everything's going on. So what happened with Kusama is it went 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and it shot up like that, okay? And this actually over here is a fourth wave. And you can see, I bring the trend over there, and you see, boom, it landed right on top of that. Just to let you guys know, one decent way to do technical analysis with cryptocurrencies that finish a cycle, no matter the cryptocurrency, always go look for the previous fourth wave and a lower sequence fourth wave. Go look for those areas, because if it's going into one of those, just let you guys know that's where they like to go. So Kusama could go here, or maybe it's going to drop down there. You can't rule that out. It could be another sequence. It could be W, X, Y, X, Z down to here. Okay. Now let's take a look at this move. Does this move look decent? It's questionable, guys. You know, it's questionable. You can get a sequence out of this, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's questionable. I could say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to want to see a move at least like this: 1, 2, like that, a 3, a 4. 4 came into price territory wave 1, and then you want to see at least something like that, and it could probably pull it off. one thing you have to realize too, once they just come off a hard, deep correction of 93, 94%, it's going to be a struggle with them off the bottom. So it's going to look goofy. All you have to do is look at, you go to some other waves when it just started. So you come over to this area, you know, for it to start in this area, you can see it was struggling and then boom, it just rocketed out of there. Even though that's not really a motive wave, it came up pretty decent on the RSI, as you can see right there. As a matter of fact, that could be a motive wave. If I take out that wick, you see, that could be a motive wave right there. You take that wick out and you can see how Kusama struggled. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that at the beginning on the 4 hour to see. And you go, okay, what does that look like? Looks pretty ugly, doesn't it? It's questionable. It's questionable. Let's go over to the motive wave over here where Kusama started. You can see same thing, same, not I want to say same thing, but similar type pattern. As people are in here going, what is that? Is that corrective? It's got to be corrective, right? And then come on over here and then comes this way and boom. And see, they're going to count the wicks. They're going to say, that can't be motive. That can't be motive, right? Well, you got to take out the wick sometimes, guys. You can see it didn't break those lows. It went right to it. It was struggling a little bit, and then boom, and went up. So to me, you got to take the wicks out sometimes, guys, when it comes to those wigs, okay? They can trick you and make you have a bearish count when you actually have possibly a bullish count. And that could be, where am I right here? That could be going on over here. You know, it's questionable, guys. So, you know, you can have a wave like so. You know, it's making some wimpy diagonal like so, okay? And, you know, this is definitely a wimpy diagonal in my opinion, but, you know, you have a wave 1, here's a 2, and then here's 3, comes into price territory, wave 1, and then it needs to go up like that. And then you take Kusama, and there's a possibility it could be 1, and then come back and test those lows again. And then it could get out of here, okay? That's a possibility. Also, too, keep this in the back of your mind, that this could be going on with Kusama. A, B, and then I'll zoom up onto a C just to correct back down. You're not going to know until the wave plays out, okay? You get answers. You see, you get more clarity on what's going on when it does the corrections, you know. A lot of people on crypto Twitter are so eager. Oh, look at Kusama. If it breaks these levels, it's going up to here to here. Wait for the correction, guys. Wait for the correction. You get a lot more clarity what's going on with the answers. And I do think a correction is coming up. All right. That's how I look at it. Now I do like Kusama. And the reason I like Kusama out of the Polkadot ecosystem, it's one of my, I would say it's one of my favorite coins because of this right here, limited supply. You have a couple other coins that are like that. Kusama, what's the other one? The DeFi. Aave is another one. And we just found another one too, a low cap coin called Cellframe. They have limited supply too. You want to check those without limited supply. Why? Because these suckers like to do what with limited supply? Pump, just like it did right there. And this move is on Kusama, not to say that the next wave is going to do that, but look at that, 53,000% on that move, okay? But I do have, if it's going into a wave sequence, a wave 1 sequence, previous highs up to 800, and it might even hit $1,000 with Kusama. Well, I just have to see, you know, those are pretty aggressive on a bounce. It's going to be hitting between 76 and as high as 161 on a bounce. So, all right, guys, that's the end of my video on Kusama. Hope that put some clarity together for you, taking a look at that, where the probabilities are. It depends on what perspective. You want to keep the bullish and the bearish in the back of your mind, especially right now. There is no confirmation yet that any of these coins are in a bullish sequence yet, guys. All right, made all the way to the end of my video. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.